It's been an Overwatch news extravaganza, jumping right into it. Breaking news hot off the presses, Havana Na is now a map available on the PTR. I was terrified for a second because they labeled it as an assault map, but I hopped on the PTR to confirm it is an escort map. Praise Jeff. Got enough 2CP going around. And as you can tell, the dev team are continuing their light and dark dichotomy with some of these maps. Rialto with Retribution last year, and now Havana with Storm Rising. We get to play the map in PvP when it's all sunshines and rainbows, and when you go into the PvE event, that's when the storm comes in and it's a lot more dreary. Again, this is playable on the PTR right now. It appears nothing else came on the PTR patch, but I am expecting more to be coming soon. Talk about that later. Now let's talk about some skin leaks. Bata12 on Reddit leaks the upcoming 2019 All-Star Weekend skins. There's a chance these are fake. No way. They look way too good and quite similar to the ones we got last year as well, at least thematically. Really over the top, which coincides with their incredibly high price tag. A ton of Overwatch League tokens, or $10 just for one of these. The Mercy skin's alright. I mean, it's solid. It's just that Mercy has so many sick skins already, but this Lucio one, though, there's nothing even comparable out of the other Lucio skins that looks anything like this. I mean, he looks like a superhero. I gotta have it. Now, we won't be able to get our hands on these skins for quite some time. The All-Star Weekend kicks off next month, May 15th. Actually, it won't be a weekend this year. That's a Wednesday. Now, the way they did this last year was have a 10-day window where you could purchase these extremely premium skins, which is a good reminder for those of you who were upset last year when they sort of sprung this insane premium skin onto us without the opportunity to save up our OWL tokens. If you don't know, you connect your Battle.net to your Twitch account and you get OWL tokens for the watch time you put in on the stream, and also you get random drops sometimes, which has the potential to increase your token farm rate even higher. Keep in mind, they buffed the token earn rate from last year. It used to just be for the maps played. Now you get 3 Overwatch League tokens per hour of Overwatch League matches watched, and that accumulates over time. You can hop in, hop out, watch on different devices. It all adds up, and the broadcasts usually go 8 hours. Keep in mind, they start 30 minutes before the games even start to run the pre-show, and then there's a post-show. There are sometimes bye weeks that cause for less games to get played in a given day, but generally speaking, you can farm about 100 tokens a week. So plenty of time for you to farm up enough to buy these skins, which should be 200 OWL tokens, which is how much they got reduced to last year. All right, now the rest of the video is going to be some good news, bad news. Good news is, like we covered in our previous video, Jeff Kaplan dropped what many of you in the comments called the actual developer update, but there's even more that I haven't fully covered that we'll talk about now, and also some players seem to be pretty upset with the Storm Rising event. Good news first, though. There's a few specific details that I left out in the last video that I want to make sure to let you guys know about. The first wrinkle is that Jeff said that there should be some of these new features going onto the PTR soon, or at least he implied that. So as we know, it didn't come with the Havana map, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets added this week or next. Because sure, it's supposed to go live with the anniversary event in a few weeks. They probably could use the data of the player base on the PTR to better fine-tune its functionality. So hopefully good news coming soon. Along with the anniversary event, there's a ton of new skins, as there always is, and Jeff hinted that there's a Diva skin coming that will, quote, break the internet. I expect this one to be hot and sassy, and my guess would be that it's a K-pop skin, where she's dressed up like an idol, maybe her mech does a light show. I don't know about you guys, but I was really jealous when League of Legends got its own K-pop music video. Overwatch needs one. Get out there, Diva. I mean, your name is Diva. That's got pop star written all over it. Okay, last few bits. There's new comics coming. I expected one for Storm Rising, didn't show up. Jeff said they hit a snag on that in development, and maybe the biggest hint is that they've got big plans for the character Maximilian. Jeff always says big plans. Big plans. Can't just speak in plain English saying new hero or this character will be integral to lore moving forward. Who knows what big plans means? But since we didn't really see Maximilian in action in the Storm Rising event, I'm not holding my breath that he's going to become a hero, but if he were to, I'd expect to have a very standoffish playstyle, using resources or building mechanics, minions, things like that. A bit more of a offensive support or tech hero, similar to the Gray Area, Torb, Symmetra, and even Zenyatta are. And with those parameters, I could see it working, but no news yet. Okay, moving on to the next news item. Speaking of new heroes, the ominous omnic guy at the end of Storm Rising kind of bears a striking resemblance to a fan-made hero concept that we covered quite a while ago. Ian Wolf pointed this out to us on Twitter, and the artist's name is Nex. Now, of course, it isn't a one-to-one comparison, but an omnic with dreadlocks, it's going to look kind of similar, and judging how big and bulky they made the character, it's safe to say that he probably would have some of these brawling mechanics. The fan-made concept gave him sort of Doc Ock arms, whereas the Blizzard version of this guy is a bit more straightforward and bulky. We'll see how that all pans out. Maybe he doesn't brawl at all anyway and he has a gun. We just haven't seen it yet. We'll have to wait and see, but Mysterious Omnic guy definitely is high on the list of probable heroes for Hero 31. For the last news story of the day, we're going to talk about the big backlash against the Storm Rising event. Reddit threads and YouTube comments, social media abound, has sort of had a meh reaction to it. Legendary YouTuber Dinoflask says this on Twitter: "The event is cool, I like the storm system, but it's too short and not enough interesting or new content to make me want to play it again. Thanks for reading from Dinoflask." Dividing by Zero, who is a excellent Overwatch League YouTuber, gives a bit more of a detailed explanation, saying Blizzard's problem right now is trying to appeal to both the hardcore competitive audience with Overwatch League and everything, and as well casual content with like PvE events. Problem being, there's only so many hours in a day, resulting in when it comes out to look kind of like they didn't put their full effort in, leading him to conclude that it looks like the dev team doesn't care. Ooh, yikes. But in reality, it might be more like they're working on so many different things that nothing actually gets done, or at least not to like a high standard. Though it seems everyone's in agreement the Storm Rising cinematics were pretty good. Okay, so after taking a ton of this feedback in from all over the internet, I think Blizzard kind of shot themselves in the foot with last season being so good. Retribution was like their flagship event. They made a big deal out of it. They flew a ton of YouTubers, including myself, out to play the mode early, and they said that that event took them a year to make, whereas this one took them 6 months, meaning that it took them 50% less effort to make Storm Rising as compared to Retribution. And Jeff said that on Onickel's stream, by the way. So I think we could expect not as much new stuff in an event that they worked less manpower hours on and didn't really promote, bar making a really sick trailer for the event. And to be fair, I know a lot of this feedback, Reddit threads and everything, came out before they knew all the things that we divulged from Jeff Kaplan talking to Onickel in our video the other day, but that's also the developer's fault, right? When you put all of the developer update stuff hidden away on a live stream, the mainstream player base is going to struggle to find that information. So when they have all these other desires that they want, and then the thing that you give them feels a bit half-baked, they're going to be upset. That being said, though, when I take all of that into consideration, I think, well, does that 6 months of development time all of a sudden get redistributed towards something that I want? Because frankly, I don't really need PvE missions. They're cute, they're nice, but the stuff I've wanted is the same stuff for the last 3 years. I'm sure many of you could probably give this spiel better than I can at this point from hearing me say it so many times. And the good news is, well, some of those features might actually be coming this year. I'm trying not to get too hyped about it because we don't even know what the heck they are yet. One is something we explicitly asked for, and the next one in the short term is one that should pleasantly surprise us. If those two knock it out of the park, I don't think anybody's going to be talking about Storm Rising. Because if they had to make Storm Rising a bit more of a rehash to reuse assets and not make any new enemies and just have the bare essentials to move the lore forward and give us something for this year's archives, I'm going to be happy with that when it's all said and done. It's difficult to have that faith in it right now, but at least for me, I'm ready to wait and see, well, did their development resources get allocated in a way that I think is most beneficial for the game? Because frankly, would I have traded Retribution being much more of a rink-a-dink mode, but we get the ranked overhaul that I wanted for a long time last year? I would have been super happy, and I think many of you would have been too. So we kind of have to be reasonable in what we're actually asking for. I could see when the vast majority of the player base were quick play players, maybe ranked wasn't as important to them, but now I believe that trend has started to move away from quick play, which I think is somewhat of a shame. I think you need to go in there and have some fun, but overall, a bigger percentage are hardcore ranked players now than ever were before, at least in distribution. The numbers are smaller overall, but the percentage split is leaning hardcore, which makes me optimistic that Blizzard is allocating their resources towards that as well. Not to mention they sort of have a fire on their hands with the Overwatch League, with the way that's balanced and how it's panning out. The developers are running around in circles trying to nerf goats out of existence, yet they seemingly can't without breaking the game in another direction, which is sort of the nature of power creep. So overall, I say let's wait and see. But also, I think the community is right with their frustration with the game and how long it seems like everything takes. But what I'm hearing right now makes me a bit optimistic that they're making the right moves. Only time will tell. This is a complicated issue, so I'm sure you guys will let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave it a like. It really does help us out and lets us know that you're enjoying the content. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Link to the the description is our Twitter, where we tweet out news, updates, dank memes, Overwatch League predictions, and more. That's been it for me. I've been Freedo for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.